taking critical issues in higher education. This is your professor once again, John Foubert. Just wanted to touch base with you now, and as we start a new week and a new topic, believe it or not, our last topic, just wanted to introduce that to you and give you some thoughts to begin. So I'm outside today, as you can see, at Starbucks in Edmond, and come see me sometime. I'm here a lot. All right, so this week we're talking about tenure. Now, tenure is one of those topics that some people don't understand fully, and I wanted to give you a sense of the background of where it came from and why it's in place and how it's in place, so that it can set the stage for our discussion this week. The first thing to realize about tenure is that it is intended, at least in its original intent when it was created, to protect academic freedom. And we've talked about academic freedom this semester, and the idea behind tenure is that at a certain point you give some assurances to faculty that they won't be dismissed without cause. So if they have controversial viewpoints, that'll have nothing to do with their employment status, as long as they're acting either in their own personal capacity or within the subject matter in which they teach, making sure that people realize that they speak for themselves, not as a spokesperson for the university. So some of the history behind this is years and years ago, about 100 years ago, there was an incident at the University of California at Berkeley where there were many faculty, actually all faculty, were asked to sign an oath demonstrating that they were loyal and faithful to the United States. Now, there were a group of faculty at Berkeley who said, we really shouldn't have to sign this loyalty oath, and so they didn't. And so they became a famous group of faculty, and those of you in student affairs or interested in student affairs will be interested to know that one of those faculty was Nevitt Sanford, who is really the founder of student development theory. So the group that was there, they refused to sign. There were about half a dozen of them, and they were fired for not signing that loyalty oath, and that led to the formation of a group called the American Association for University Professors, the AAUP, and they spent many years drafting statements of academic freedom with tenure there to support it. Now, some people will think that tenure means guaranteed lifetime employment. It does not. It may function that way in some places, but it doesn't mean guaranteed lifetime employment. What it essentially means is you can only be dismissed with cause, so not without cause. The key things there being that they have to have some reason that's job-related to dismiss an employee like a faculty member. And so it can't just be because we don't like you, we don't like what you have to say, we think you're controversial, those sorts of things. It actually has to be something that there's a part of their job that they're not doing, or that there's some moral turpitude or something along those lines. So that's where that came from. And if you think about it, there are lots of different careers in the United States that have similar systems. We just don't talk about them as much. There can be beginning periods of oh goodness, what do you call it? When you're on probation to an employer. So a lot of places that can be 3 months or 6 months or whichever, where they basically say, we can fire you for any reason, but then once you make it past this beginning period, we will only dismiss you with cause. Well, it's similar to how faculty at colleges and universities operate, except their probationary period is a long time. Tends to be about 6 years, can be anywhere from 5 to 7, maybe a little more in some places. But it's a very long period of time where they're on probation to the institution, and they have to prove their prowess in teaching, research, and service in some combination that the university tends to prize. So a tenure process is extremely involved. I've been through it twice, once at William & Mary, once at OSU, and thankfully was awarded tenure in both cases. But it is something in which you literally submit volumes and volumes of materials. It can be 1 box, it can be 2 boxes, it can be 4 boxes, but any of those And people on the faculty read through that, maybe not every page in every case, but certainly read through a lot of that, and they come up with a recommendation based on the faculty as to whether that person has met the standards and criteria for tenure. Then that gets usually passed on to someone like a department chair or a dean, could be an all-college committee, those sorts of things, and it works its way up through to the provost and then finally to a board of visitors, board of regents, those sorts of things. And at any stage, you can get kicked out of the process. So it is quite an arduous procedure. So that's there. Now, there have been controversies in the past, and actually more recently, about what happens after the tenure process. Are faculty still reviewed? Now, most places that happens on an annual basis for an annual evaluation, and then there are other places that have a formal post-tenure review about every 6 years, where you have to demonstrate once again that you're meeting the standards of the institution. So that is something that is under discussion, and how rigorous those processes should be, how likely it should be that someone might not successfully keep tenure, those sorts of things. So lots of issues come up with discussions of tenure. In pop culture, what many people think of when they think of tenure is, old faculty who are stuck in their ways and not doing any work, and they have guaranteed lifetime employment. Could we find an example of that? Of course. But that is not the norm, at least so far as I've experienced and seen. More often, some of the benefits of tenure are talked about in terms of protecting the academic freedom of the ideas that different faculty members are offering. That connects directly to having a free society in which people can share what's on their mind and have thought leaders who are faculty who contribute to that discussion without fear of retaliation from their institution. Now, that's in the ideal world, not always in the real world. But that's a little bit on tenure and how it's conceived and how it tends to function. And I'm very interested to hear what you think this week. How do you respond to the readings? What are your thoughts on tenure itself? Is it something that we should keep in place, reform, do away with? Any of those things. So I look forward to the week ahead, our last week, believe it or not, and best of luck with post this week and also all the things we finish out for the semester. Have a good one.